Hello there, girls and boys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're coming back to SoundBrenner. Yes, the very SoundBrenner that we already analyzed before. This time around we're going to be dealing with Core 2, which is the newest edition of this fantastic concept. And for those of you who don't know what this is, well, this is basically speaking a vibration-based metronome. Let me give you a little bit more details on it. SoundBrenner is a tactile way to follow tempo, since it groups to a click track rather than making sounds, allowing for a silent way to practice any instrument. It is comprised of the SoundBrenner, the device itself, and the accompanying app, which is full of very useful features and is in constant development. During the last few weeks, we have been in touch with the people at SoundBrenner because they have developed plenty of new features that have been added to the whole ecosystem of the SoundBrenner Core 2. Because we're not only dealing with the hardware-based system, they have added plenty of different new features to the software that will actually make your whole practicing experience better. And just for sake of transparency, we truly got in touch with them and they sent this particular unit for review purposes. But just to make it clear, this is my original Core 1 that I've been rocking for the last 2 years, I think, at this point. And this was bought by my own money. And SoundBrenner has no saying over whatever we say in this video, and they never requested the video to be sent to them before publishing. At the time of the release of this video, SoundBrenner offers two models. Pulse, which is the most basic version, being just a vibration metronome, which depends heavily on your phone, and Core 2, offering a wide array of extra functions such as acting as a smartwatch, tuner, noise alarm, control over your music apps, among many others. And if you're thinking of getting one of these for yourself, there is an affiliate link in the description of this video, which will take you to the store, but also it comes with this code that you should be able to see in your screen right now, which will give you a great discount once you're about to purchase. So that's the way to go. SoundBrenner has become my de facto click track here in the studio and during my practicing sessions. And yes, you heard that right. I actually use the SoundBrenner for tracking and music production purposes because I found a way to connect my SoundBrenner to my digital audio workstation and use it for that particular purpose. There's a video coming soon on which I will be explaining every one of the steps that you need to follow in order to get your SoundBrenner to work in tandem with your computer while producing music. Stay tuned for that one.
So look, first and foremost for me as a drummer, SoundBrenner was an incredible solution to a big problem every musician has, but I think drummers in particular may suffer from it the most, which is having an alternative for timekeeping, which is not audible. Because when you are playing, you should be focused on listening to what you're playing and listening to the music that you're playing too. And SoundBrenner allows you to do just that, because now you don't have to hear the metronome anymore. You can feel it, you can actually feel the tempo while you listen to the music. And not only that it's more convenient, but that also allows you to play in a more fluid form. And actually that's something that I felt even with my own playing, because whenever I play following the metronome, of course, it's a very good way to follow tempo. But I feel that is more rigid, is a little bit stiffer than when I play with the SoundBrenner, which is, in a way, a little bit more challenging to follow because we're talking about a tactile form of signal. And I'm playing the drums, so I'm going to be banging drums, I'm going to be hitting literal drums with sticks, and I'm getting that tactile feedback that comes back from the sticks, from my arm. And naturally, that's gonna dissipate a little bit the vibration that I'm getting from the SoundBrenner, which makes it kinda hard to follow at times. But it's definitely something you can get used to it while you practice with it. And once you do, it's actually revolutionary, something that changes the game completely.
When it comes to practicing, not only guitar, but also keyboards and singing, I like to use the SoundBrenner as a way to keep me motivated because it's quite easy to set up and it's super fast and very intuitive to work around with it. I'm being very frank, for the vast majority of my time using this device, I always work with the standalone hardware. The SoundBrenner app comes as a free download with everything to get you going with your practice, as it comes with a tuner using your phone's inner microphones, a great practice session scheduling system, the practice tracker, a simple yet effective way to keep you motivated, and of course the metronome itself. It is, in my opinion, the best metronome app that you can download. It is that good that is the one that I always recommend, even for those who doesn't own a SoundBrenner. And for those who want to take their practice to the next level, it offers a subscription that unlocks tons of great and useful exercises and lessons in video format for many instruments, plus some advanced metronome features such as incremental tempo change and muted beat trainer. More on those later. I was quite surprised to see how many new features actual useful features have been added to the Metronome app. Because for the longest of times, I always use the SoundBrenner Core as my main device. I rarely connect it to my phone. But after talking to the people from SoundBrenner and me discovering and playing around with some of the new features that are part of the software, I can tell you that it's a no-brainer. It's a great extra for any single one of you who are considering or trying to get better at any instrument.
And speaking of the app, some of the features that I have been using quite a lot when it comes to practicing are the intermittent tempo. I don't know if that's how it's called, but basically that's what it does. It gives you a few bars of metronome and a few bars without, so you can keep yourself in check. It's a very useful tool to developing your sense of tempo. And outside of that, just the whole customizability aspect of it is very, very good as well. And the whole thing about having the app as it is, I think it's such a great feature. Even the whole gamification of it, the whole system of progression, I think that's very nice because it's giving you more ways to become disciplined with your practice. Because it's not only about giving you nice features, it's about creating an environment, creating a whole setting that pushes you to practice. And I think it does it really, really well.
One of the features that I like the most about the Metronome app is the fact that you can actually create a training session on which the metronome will be little by little incrementing in speed. That allows you to actually develop momentum and finesse, particularly on guitar, because you usually, if you're as dorky and as bad as a guitar player as I am, it will take a while for you to get the muscle memory ready on your fingers. So one way that I have developed a good practicing routine is by speeding up little by little. And since I can program the whole metronome thing going by its own, rather than me having to step in and adjust the speed of each of the different rounds that I'm going to be doing on my guitar, this will allows me to focus most of the time on my playing rather than the whole apparatus involved in my training sessions. So I think it's great.
Using the SoundBrenner in the beginning was a little bit challenging because I had to get the hang of something entirely new. I had never used any form of metronome like this before. I think it's the first one anyway. And it did take some getting used to, especially taking into account that drumming makes it a little bit harder because we are playing with all of our limbs and we're hitting stuff. So the vibrations does get a little bit mitigated by the whole vibration coming back from the hitting. And I tried out all sorts of different positionings for the SoundBrenner. I won't tell you all of them, but I made several tests to different sorts of results. I actually had some good results putting on my knee, but that was kind of variable because at times if I was playing double bass, for instance, I was getting more vibration from the kicks, and it was mitigating the SoundBrenner more. In the end, I stayed with it, as you see him right here on my arm. It's far enough up my arm that is not necessarily getting a lot of the vibration coming from the hits. By this point, it's already mitigated throughout the entire arm. I can feel it well enough, and also I can get the visual feedback of being able to pinpoint that I'm on tempo just by checking out the blinking, which is also a valuable asset. For most of the time, I'm going to be feeling only the vibrations, but if I feel that I need to check, I can just look down. Okay, I know I'm on tempo, I can keep going.
But of course, nothing is perfect, and Core 2 is not the exception. The first thing that has to be mentioned is that it is not the prettiest wristwatch you would ever wear, and as a watch nerd, it's something I take quite seriously. The build quality is still very basic, not bad, not awesome, especially when compared to other pieces at different price points. The rubber strap feels lighter than the one that came with Core 1, and when compared to the straps I own, it doesn't exude confidence. And the OLED displays are way better looking than before, that's always a nice. Another thing that has to be mentioned is that you can synchronize up to 5 SoundBrenners to the same tempo, allowing for great band practice or an excellent solution for any teacher. So there you have it, girls and boys. That's what we think about the SoundBrenner Core 2. In my humble opinion, I think it's a great addition to any single one of you who are learning any form of instrument or are truly trying to get serious when it comes to developing their skills. Totally recommend it. I think it's a very good purchase, and no, it's not because we got this affiliate link that you can actually use. You should as well, by the way. But it's because once again, I actually got my own Core 1 first, and this is not my first SoundBrenner. I actually was one of those crazy MFers who bought the original first version, believe it or not. Because I truly believe in this system. I truly believe in this whole thing about removing the click from your ears and feeling the groove rather than hearing it and following it. Yeah, so truly get it. Totally recommend it. if you export this kind of content and if you want to keep the lights on this dubious organization, the best way to do it is by listening to music on Apple Music or Spotify, and also buying one of these guys through the affiliate link underneath the video, of course. But, as well by following us on Instagram and X, because that's the best way for you to get in touch with us in a much more personal basis. With that being said, girls and boys, thank you for watching, thank you for joining, and as every single time that I meet you, I gotta remind you that you should never let anybody tell you what to dream about. And remember, I will see you when I see you.